Day 2 of reading for 15 minutes to help me speak better. Today I'm continuing on where I left yesterday. So yeah, let's get into reading, guys. Okay. Shortly after, let me start it from here. I'm gonna start it from observance of the law. In the early 1600s, the Italian astronomer and mathematician Galileo found himself in a precarious position. He depended on generosity of great rulers to support his research. And so, like all Renaissance scientists, he would sometimes make gifts of his inventions and discoveries to leading patrons of the time. Once, for instance, he presented a military compass he had invented to the Duke of Gonzaga. Then he dedicated a book explaining the use of compass to the medics. Both rulers were grateful and thought them Galileo was able to find more students to teach. No matter how great the discovery, however, his patrons usually paid him with gifts, not cash. This made for a life constant insecurity and dependence. There must be an easier way, he thought. Galileo hit a new strategy in 1610. He discovered the moons of Jupiter instead of dividing the discovery among his patrons, giving one of the telescope he had used, dedicating a book to another, and so on. As he had done in the past, he decided to focus exclusively on the Medicis. He chose the Medicis for one reason. Shortly after Cosimo, I had established the Medici dynasty. In 1540, he had made Jupiter the mightiest of the gods, the Medici symbol, a symbol of power that went beyond politics and banking, one linked to ancient Rome and its divinities. Galileo turned his discovery of Jupiter's moons into a cosmic event, honoring the Medici's greatness. Shortly after the discovery, this is where I was supposed to start. Shortly after the discovery, he announced that the bright stars, the moons of Jupiter, offered themselves Shortly after the discovery, he announced that the bright stars, the moons of Jupiter, offered themselves in the heavens to his telescope at the same time as Cosimo, Roman figure 2, Cosimo II's, how do you say this? Cosimo's Roman figures, enthroned. He said that the numbers of the moons 4 harmonized with numbers the Medicis. Cosimo too had 3 brothers. There are 2 Cosimos. There is Cosimo we were talking about here, and then there is the second Cosimo. Okay. He said the numbers of the moons 4 harmonized with the number of the Medics. Cosimo too had 3 brothers, and that the moons orbited Jupiter as the 4 suns revolved around Cosimo 1. The dynasty founder. More than coincidence, this showed that heavens themselves reflected the ascendancy of the Medici family. After he dedicated the discovery to the Medicis, Galileo commissioned an emblem. After he dedicated the discovery to the Medicis, Galileo commissioned an emblem representing Jupiter sitting on a cloud with the 4 stars circling about him, and presented this to Cosimo II as a symbol of his link to the stars. In 1610, Cosimo II made Galileo his official court philosopher and a mathematician, with a full salary. For a scientist, this was a coup of a lifetime. The days of begging for patronage were over. Interpretation. Okay. In one stroke, Galileo more with his new strategy than he had in years of begging. The reason is simple. All masters want to appear more brilliant than the other. They do not care about science or empirical truth or the latest invention. They care about their name and their glory. Galileo gave the Medicis infinitely more glory by linking their name with cosmic forces than he had by making the patrons of some new scientific gadget or discovery. Scientists are not spared the vagaries of court life and patronage. They too must serve masters who hold purse strings, and their great intellectual powers can make the master feel insecure, as if he were only there to supply the funds. An ugly, ignoble job. The procedure of great work wants to feel he is more than just the provider of the financing. He wants to appear creative and powerful, and also more important than the work produced in his name. Instead of insecurity, you must give him glory. Galileo did not challenge the intellectual authority of the Medicis with his discovery or make them feel inferior in any way. By literally aligning them with the stars, he made them shine brilliantly among the courts of Italy. He did not outshine the master. He made the master outshine all others. Never outshine the master. Always, never outshine the master. Always make the ones above you feel, superior. Yeah, make them feel superior, just like they say. Keys to power. Everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself in the world, everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself in the world and display your talents, you naturally stir up all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. This is to be expected. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others. Obviously, shoot a video, number one. Oh, 9 minutes. Sawa. Kilo kalai, kifedite kai kilo kalai. Yeah, sawa. Everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir up all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. This is to be expected. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others with those above you. However, you must take a different approach. When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all. Do not fool into thinking that life has changed much since the days of Louis, XIVs, and the medicine.
ke motho like nyakolela lo la bili fela go yone ntse ya gore nka o monela fela go spacing fela
Spacing there.
like
There's one thing about psychics.